A young boy, just a small child, raised his finger, trembling, but sure, right at a police officer sitting across the courtroom. What he said next, it stunned everyone into silence. Not a word, not a breath. Only the sound of hearts pounding filled the air. It was as if the room forgot how to breathe. The atmosphere? Heavy, thick, like a storm was about to break loose. All eyes turned, unmoving, locked on the witness stand. There stood Ethan, just 7 years old. His tiny fingers gripped the wooden rail, like it was the only thing keeping him safe in a world too big, too loud. His face was pale, almost ghost-like, and his wide eyes nervously darted around the room, looking for something familiar, anything to hold on to. The judge leaned in slightly, his voice gentle but firm. "Ethan, do you understand why you're here today?" The little boy gave a nod, slow, hesitant. And then, almost like he was gathering all the courage left in his small body, Ethan lifted his arm and pointed, directly at the uniformed man seated at the front. That man's face went stiff. His mouth twitched, and his jaw clenched tight. Then Ethan spoke, just above a whisper. But those few words hit like thunder. "It's him," he said. "He's the one who hurt my mom." The entire courtroom gasped. It was as if a wave of disbelief rolled through every row of seats. People looked at each other, shocked. Some covered their mouths. Others simply stared. The accused officer, Officer Daniels, sprang to his feet in protest. His chair dragged harshly across the floor, screeching like a siren. The judge slammed the gavel. Once, twice, but the damage was already done. The room was in chaos, and a truth too heavy to ignore had just cracked through the silence. Why would a child so young, say something so terrifying? And about a police officer of all people? What secrets could possibly be hidden behind a badge and a smile? See, Ethan wasn't meant to be here. He was supposed to be at home, playing with his toy dinosaurs, building forts out of pillows and cardboard, dreaming up imaginary worlds like any normal kid. But his whole life shifted the night his mother never made it home. He waited by the window, eyes wide, hopeful. And then a police car pulled into the driveway. Not his mom. It was Officer Daniels, the friendly cop who always smiled and waved. Except that night there was no smile. No wave. Just a stiff expression and cold words. "Your mom had an accident, she's gone." But Ethan knew. Something inside him screamed that it wasn't right. He saw something others missed: blood. On the sleeve of Daniel's uniform. And his mom's last words haunted him. "If anything ever happens to me, don't trust anyone. Not even the police." After her death, Ethan changed. He stopped playing. In class, while the other kids were sketching happy families or superheroes, Ethan drew pictures that made his teacher's heart drop. A man in a police uniform standing over a woman on the ground. Again and again. One day, his teacher asked gently, "Ethan, who is this?" With tears flooding his eyes, he whispered, "That's Officer Daniels. He made my mom go away." The school reported it. But the police? They brushed it off. "A grieving child's imagination," they said. "He's confused." But Ethan's grandmother wasn't buying it. No way. She knew this wasn't just trauma, it was a clue. So she hired a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, one who had a reputation for taking on the toughest cases and standing up when no one else would. In court, prosecutors tried everything. They painted Ethan as a scared little boy who lost his mom and didn't understand. They tried to frame Officer Daniels as a hero being wrongly accused. But the defense? They dug deeper. They believed there was a dark truth buried in the quiet streets of that town. Then something unexpected happened. A twist no one saw coming. Ethan, with shaky fingers, reached into his pocket and pulled out a wrinkled piece of paper. "My mom gave me this before she disappeared," he said. It was a gas station receipt, and on the back, a license plate number, Officer Daniels' car. The courtroom exploded again. Murmurs, gasps, disbelief. This wasn't just a child's story anymore. This was evidence. Even then, even with proof in hand, the system tried to suppress it. The defense lawyer began receiving threats. Ethan's grandmother feared for their lives. But then came one more twist that flipped the entire case upside down: security footage. It surfaced from the gas station on the night Ethan's mom vanished. The video showed Officer Daniels arguing with her, heated words, gestures, tension. No accident. No coincidence. It was real. When Daniels finally took the stand, he looked Ethan straight in the eye. "I didn't hurt your mom, son," he said. "Sometimes bad things just happen." For a moment, just a moment, Ethan's doubt showed. But then he remembered her words. Don't trust anyone. On the final day of trial, the defense played that video. You could hear a pin drop. People stopped breathing. Then Ethan stood one last time. He looked right at Daniels, voice steady this time. "You heard what she said, and I'm not afraid of you anymore." Daniels' mask cracked. His calm crumbled. "She was going to ruin everything," he yelled. "She found out about the money, the drugs I was hiding. She said she'd go public. I didn't mean to. We fought. She fell. I panicked. It was a full confession." Just like that. The jury left to deliberate, and hours passed in silence. When they returned, the verdict echoed through the courtroom. Guilty, manslaughter, and obstruction of justice. Daniels? Sentenced to 15 years. No parole. Ethan sat beside his grandmother. Tears streamed down her face. The judge looked directly at Daniels. "You betrayed your badge, your oath, and your people. Today, justice is served." The gavel hit. Ethan stood tall, head high. His mother was gone, but the truth was no longer buried. She had told him to be brave, and he was. If this story moved you even a little, hit that like button and drop a justice for Sarah in the comments. And hey, if you believe in stories where the truth finally wins, check out the playlist we made just for you. What's coming next? Oh, you're not ready for it. Because real change? It begins with small voices that refuse to be silenced, voices like Ethan's.